Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel with Wombleleader Racing, and today we are going to look at a subject which I would say after the current penalty system is the biggest bone of contention in the game, and that is the Gran Turismo Sport slipstream. Now slipstream in very simple terms is when you're sitting closely behind a car in front of you, that car is punching a hole in the air, creating less drag for your car, less wind resistance, which allows your car to accelerate slightly quicker, reach a slightly higher top speed than it normally would, and put you in a position to make overtakes such as we are looking at on the screen. Now the slipstream in Gran Turismo has always been generally regarded as being a little bit too strong compared to real life. And the distance in which you used to pick up the slipstream in Gran Turismo Sport was 0.8 seconds. So whilst it was quite strong, you had to be quite close to the car in front of you to sort of pick it up and reap its benefits. However, in an update several months back, that distance in which you picked up the slipstream was increased to 1.5 seconds, but remained just as strong as previous. So you were now picking up a healthy dose of speed down the straights from 1.5 seconds back. And this was allowing you to stay a lot easier, a lot closer, or sort of stay with the car in front of you for a lot longer in a race, and a lot harder for the car in front to break that toe and then start pulling away. Now when it first came in, I don't remember there being a massive amount of complaints about it. Obviously there was a few, as there is with anything, but in general people just got on with it and sort of carried on as normal. However, in the last few weeks, certainly been a lot more complaints and howls of derision about the current slipstream, because it's creating situations in FIA races where people are now looking for that slipstream in qualifying, and that's creating chaos at the end of qualifying on the last corner, as everyone doesn't want to be the leader of the pack. And it's also creating some situations where you can sort of sit behind a car on a harder compound of tyre and sort of stay with them for a lot longer than you normally would, and that's kind of making starting on the softer tyre in FIA races putting you at a disadvantage. Now what I want to do here in this video is just try and isolate the slipstream on its own, because obviously when you're following another car there is other factors that come into play. The type of tyres you're on can affect your acceleration. Obviously corner exit speeds can play a big part. Cars may well be fuel saving, so they're not going as fast down the straight as they normally would, and just in general some cars are quicker on the straight than others. So for this video I wanted to try and isolate all those other factors that I just mentioned and just see how much you gain from the slipstream alone. So to do that I have set up a custom race with an AI car. We're in exactly the same car. We're in the 2016 Lexus, so we have the same car, same horsepower, we're on the same tyres, the racing hard tyres, and as best as I can I'm going to try and exit this corner here at turn 1 in Bathurst at the same speed as the AI car, and we shall measure how much we gain from turn 1 down to turn 2, down the mountain straight, which is about 1.1 kilometres long. So in this example here we have exited slightly quicker than the AI car, about a second, and as we get to the 100 metre board where we're going to sort of measure distance, we have gained about a quarter of a second there through the slipstream alone. Moving on to this next example, let's see what sort of exit we get compared to the AI car here. Very late on the throttle, so we exit just about 1.1 seconds, and we got a slightly worse exit than the AI car here, but we're now picking up that slipstream, and let's see how close we get to the AI car. So about 1.1 seconds as we get to the 100 metre board, about 9/10 of a second. So in that example of a slightly worse exit than the AI car, we gained 2/10. So as we're seeing here, when we isolate everything else and it's just the slipstream gain that we're looking at, it's probably not as much as you might think. So we exit here about 1.45 seconds, a slightly worse exit than the AI car in front of us. We're in that slipstream now, we're picking it up from just under 1.5 seconds back, and by the time we get to the 100 metre board that was about 1.35 seconds. So only a gain of a tenth and a half on that occasion. Again, that was with a slightly worse exit than the car in front. So in this example we get a much better exit than the AI car, and this is maybe why some people think the slipstream is so exaggerated. Because just look how much we're gaining on there. We came out that corner 8/10 of a second behind, but because we exited the corner so much better, we were able to get the overtake done into turn 2. So let's take a look at another example here. So in this one we have exited the corner from 1.4 seconds back, but again we come out the corner much quicker than the AI car. So we already gained 4/10. We're well in the slipstream, we're gaining massively, big chunks of time coming off with each bit, and by the time we get to the braking zone we've half that gap from 1.4 seconds down to nearly 7/10. So what I'm trying to sort of demonstrate here is, the first few examples that we looked at, we exited the corner slightly worse or very similar to the AI car, and the gain was only about 2/10 to 3/10 of a second. When we exit the corner a lot quicker, or get a much better exit than the AI car, we gain substantially more time in the slipstream. In this one we gain, I think we exited slightly worse than the AI car, about 1.45 seconds, and by the time we get down to the braking zone it's at 1.25, so a gain of about 2/10 there. So my findings when I was doing this little experiment is that slipstream alone, down a straight that's just over 1 kilometre in length, is really only worth about 2/10 to 2.5 tenths. Now how realistic that gain is, I have no idea. That's an equation for a professional race driver. But as I just wanted to demonstrate, I think when you're seeing gains of like 7/10 of a second down a straight, there is other factors come into play, and it's not just slipstream alone. Now one thing I do want to sort of take a look at is maybe why we're getting so many complaints about the slipstream now, and why people are now trying to use it in qualifying. Now we are on board with a Group 2 Nissan GTR. This was a daily race C fairly recently, and we are going through the S's at Suzuka. And look how easily we're able to follow that car in front. Now previously when this race came up you just couldn't do that. Trying to follow another car through the S's was nigh on impossible, even with better tyres. So we'll just get another example here. This is lap 2, so same car, same tyres, same tyre life, and I was amazed at how easy I was able to follow this car. Now they were always talking about there being a reduction in dirt air in the game, and when I started doing this race I realised that there is a massive reduction in dirt air now. Certainly in Group 2, but I think that's probably transferred over to all categories in the game. And I think this is one of the main reasons why we're now getting these slipstream trains in qualifying, because you can follow cars much easier than you previously could. There's still some dirt air there, but if you're able to gain, if there's two reasonable lengths of straight on a track and you're gaining 1/4 of a second in each one of them, but maybe only losing a couple of tenths through dirt air, then that's a net gain of 3/10. So that's probably why people are doing it. Me myself, I don't like being in dirt air in qualifying. I like to just go solo, because I've got my braking points down for qualifying. I know where I can brake. Obviously we're in the slipstream, you're going a little bit quicker, so you've got to adjust your braking for that. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the slipstream in Gran Turismo at the moment. I just wanted to do a little bit of experiment and put it in video form for people to look at and see, and maybe sort of just try and demonstrate that whilst the slipstream's pretty strong, maybe not quite as strong as you thought. As I said, other factors come into play in race situations when you're making these massive gains on cars down the straight, and a lot of it's to do with corner exit. Anyway, we'll wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like button, leave a comment and let me know what you think of the slipstream. I do try to reply to all comments, and I do appreciate people who take the time to post a comment. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.